Hey, welcome to the Cyber Savvy Woman, where women business owners reclaim their power in the digital world. We shatter the myth that cybersecurity is too complex to master and transform protection strategies into clear, actionable guidance. This is your digital empowerment sanctuary, where cyber fear becomes cyber confidence. Whether you're protecting client trust as a therapist or safeguarding financial data as an advisor, you'll hear from women founders who've conquered digital challenges and security experts who speak your language. Every woman leading a business deserves to feel unshakable in her digital decisions, no matter her technical background. Are you ready to stop letting cybersecurity intimidate you and start letting it elevate you? Here's your host, Rachele Schainker.
Welcome back to the Cyber Savvy Woman, where we talk about practical ways women can protect themselves, their businesses, and their futures in our increasingly digital world. I'm your host, Rachele Schainker, a Silicon Valley technologist and owner of the award-winning managed service provider, CMIT Solutions of San Mateo. Today's guest is Kathryn Nuñez, a speaker, workshop provider, fractional CMO, and sales and marketing strategist who helps tech-enabled B2B consultants and service providers build smarter revenue systems. Kathryn is the founder of Revenue Alchemy and brings more than 30 years of experience in sales, business development, and marketing strategy. She is known for helping businesses uncover what is really holding them back, whether it's their messy CRM, weak follow-up, or unclear offers, or technology that's creating more noise than results. Kathryn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And as you're reading that, I'm like having this mind movie going, oh my gosh, case study for that, case study for that, case study for this.
Yes. Well, you have a lot of information to share, and I'm excited to get into it. You do have a very interesting background from science, business development, as I mentioned, and now more into a speaking and consulting role. Kind of take us through the journey of where you were and where you are today and kind of, how that happened for you.
Sure. And we don't want to piss on my corporate experience because
no, of course not. We all have it, right?
It brought me to where it was. But what was happening in my corporate environment was a lack of appreciation for my creativity. Because I have a science degree and I was working in the science field, I have this combination when you do a disc or whatever, where I have the creative brain, I look up and to the left or whatever, and then I have what needs to be a formula for how things work. Like if I can't spreadsheet it can't happen.
Yeah. Oh my God, we are two peas in a pod. I'm the same. Yeah.
And I've always been an early adopter of technology. Remember the old client server and the, oh my gosh, all the different types when we had dial-up, when we had IPSN, all of that. I was always the first person to try it out. So anyway, I was an early adopter, and I decided that I was tired of building multi-million-dollar sales territories or multi-million-dollar companies for people that didn't appreciate me, where they felt like they could just replace me. So then I exited. COVID helped that exit gracefully. And I was already doing consulting, and I started my business by joining. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Let's just say I've done salsa, I've done jewelry, I've exported Native American jewelry to Europe. So I've always had some entrepreneurial spirit. But I was in a mastermind, and somebody said, how can I help? How can I blow wind in your sails if you can't even articulate what it is that you do? And I was like, he's so right. Like, what the hell do I do? And I said, well, I rewrite LinkedIn profiles for fun. And he goes, you do? That was one of my starts. I started rewriting LinkedIn profiles. And then that went into LinkedIn outreach and systems to be able to book appointments for people on LinkedIn, which then like content creation. Because on LinkedIn, right, there's two different ways to use it: as a social media platform, hoping that it will become a lead generation,
Sure,
thought leadership, or outreach through DMs or whatever you're doing. So there's lots of different ways to use the platform. And I leaned into that, and in that really became a messaging expert. through thousands and thousands of messages and DMs and things, trying to see what they work. So that's really where I've come, is now into really understanding I can give you all of LinkedIn where there's a billion users and those are your leads.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I love that.
How are you going to segment them? How are you going to speak to them? And how do you remove the friction so that it feels very comfortable for somebody to raise their hand and say, wow, I would like to speak to you?
Yeah. Yeah. That is a gift. That is a gift you have. So who are the clients that you serve best today, and what are they struggling when they first come to you? Like, take us through that process.
Yes, so I have a cliche in my business, which is more leads won't fix a broken system. So people come to me looking for leads. I have an agency. We've been building lists for people forever. But then I started, so my perfect customer is somebody who is founder led. They're primarily doing sales themselves. And if they're sick or if they're busy fulfilling those deliverables, they're not selling. And if they're selling and they're delivering, they're not writing content, right? So they have peaks and valleys and ebbs and flows of leads. So my perfect customer comes to me and they said, I want to create systems so that I can spend more time doing the things I want to do, which could be travel, which is what I do, right?
Right. Right. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, you're traveling. Yeah, you're on the move, mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do work with SaaS founders. I feel confident in looking at an offer and like if somebody wants to go from I've never spoken to you to get on my calendar, I feel confident saying that's really not going to work unless you have this blue ocean offer that no one else has, which almost doesn't exist today, right? So now let's just find the value proposition. Let's find the one reader, the one offer, the one promise, and put that together multiple times and create momentum and automation.
Yeah, that's great. You do work with a lot of experienced founders and service providers who have been in business for years. Why do you think so many of them kind of find themselves stuck in this sales and marketing systems? Is it because they're not consistent? They don't have the right one? What do you see as like kind of their pitfall there?
Honestly, they can't get out of their own way.
That's fair. Yes.
That's really what I have seen. Most of my founders are our age and they've built success. They have multi-million dollar businesses. And I started thinking, oh, I can only work with startups, right? No. When I start digging in, they landed in the market at a time when they built it and they came, but now they want out because they're the ones that have to do everything.
Yes. That makes sense. Yeah.
So it's really founder-led sales, founder-led, I don't need anyone, or I only want to pay $25 an hour for an offshore person. No offense to offshore, but I don't want to pay the price, or I don't know how to work with somebody and I don't know how to let go.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. When you step into a business and you start to see their, messy data, underuse software, stalled deals, um, how do you diagnose? Well, I guess this kind of ties back to the same question. Like, how do you diagnose what's going on? Is it the same thing? Is it the founder? Is it the system? Do you see the same thing every time? Is it always kind of those root causes, or is there something else going on?
I was going to try to pull it up. So most of the time, high level, there's four categories for my customers.
Sure.
They could be an invisible expert. There's someone who is an expert in their field, but they're really invisible and they're disappeared in a sea of sameness. Then there could be somebody who has a really leaky pipeline. So they're good at getting people on calls, yet they get ghosted. So what's the problem? Or they or those people just aren't converting. So then they have an offer problem, or they have a message market match problem. They're really trying to do be all things to all people, and they're not narrowing in on one thing that can help them scale. So those are the four categories that I see, and then I have all of these pillars, these different pillars that I run people through. And let me see if I could pull up one of my proposals. But then I just look at,
And I'm assuming everyone's kind of has a little bit of all of that, right? And then there's probably just one that's kind of outweighs the others, right? Like
it's what should we fix first?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I have on my website, or soon to be launched on my website, first I have a chatbot that segments the people into one of the four categories based on some questions. And then I have an agent that takes people through it delivers a 10-step checklist of all the things that they could fix first.
Yeah, wow.
So that they could try to do it themselves. But it's all the way from, am I getting consistent leads? Do I have a CRM? Is my messaging okay? Is my offer converting? And then do I have scalable systems in place to continue doing this? So it's really all of those things, and we just look for the gap.
Yeah. You talk about the importance of, standing for something and standing against something, your messaging, especially in crowded market. And our market is extremely competitive. I understand that. How can business owners get clear on, what actually makes them different? Do you kind of take them through a process to help them, because sometimes I'll hear other IT people and they're like, oh, I help anyone with a computer. And I'm like, I think you need to be a little bit more, specific than that, right? I mean, for me, like, we love to work with other women business owners, and it's like, that's my differentiator. But can you help people get there? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah.
And one thing to remember is that the market positions you, right? So I do a lot of voice of customer mind,
Oh, interesting.
and you can listen. And really, your testimonials need to be set up, in a way that doesn't just say, "Yay, Rachel's great. Yay, our team is great." No, it's asking the right questions ahead of time, which, like, what did you try before you got to me? Right? What made you reach out today instead of 6 months ago? So in that onboarding, when you're asking those questions and you start onboarding better, then you hear the voice of the customer, and then you also listen to them. For example, another takeaway for you guys, it would be, in a sea of sameness, what are the table stakes, right? What are the items that you assume every IT provider has? Like, that would just be a question. You just ask people, right? Then you learn what the table stakes are. So then don't spend your time talking about what the problem aware buyer assumes you have. What's after that? So understanding your assumptions of what the table stakes are, what was it that stood out to me for me? So the market tells you what stood out, and that's where your value proposition forms from your customers.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that makes so much sense. For business owners who may feel like sales is overwhelming or overly complicated, what does a healthy, sustainable sales process look like? What should we be striving for or looking to set up?
So first, you look at your past 10 clients and make sure that those 10, 5, whatever number, make sure that they came from different sources, because if they all came from the same place, there's a gap right there.
Okay.
That's a single source gap, because if that shuts down, you're left hanging. So where did my customers come from? Documentation. What did it look like to close them? So they saw my content, they booked an appointment, we did a discovery call, I sent an assessment, we went over the proposal. So documenting that buyer journey is also documenting your sales process.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Yeah.
And then you look at where in that sales process can I remove friction to make the sales close faster? And then how can I scale this process or hand it over to somebody else to start helping me close more business?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so, Kathryn, you do such a great job of like clearly defining it. And like, I can just see it in my mind. It's great. We talk about, women and how they use technology in their business. And you're someone who, clearly embraced it very early. What made you first curious about AI, or are you curious about AI, or what do you think about that?
100%. I don't want to sound like an ego, but not all my friends are geeks, and not all my friends want to hear me talk incessantly about my business.
Well, you can always talk to me.
I was an early adopter with ChatGPT, and it really was, I just wanted somebody to talk to, like late at night or stuck in an airport or walking my dog. Like I wanted someone that I could talk to give me feedback. So that's the first step in using AI, right? And technology. And then it was, okay, step 2, how can I make technology do something for me so that I don't have to do it myself? So then it was using like an agent or the Sameness. I don't know if you guys, AI is useful. So then I was like, okay, step 2, what can I take off my plate that AI can do for me? To the best of its ability, maybe not perfect, but once again, minimal viable option to move my business forward faster. And then what I've been spending so much time on since February is how can I take the processes and systems in my mind, like that buyer journey mapping that I was just talking about? How can I take that in my mind and put it into an AI tool to articulate it, or a set of agents, and build an agent workflow that can produce results that actually impress me and help and give me ammunition to be a stronger consultant or stronger articulator of a problem for a client. So that's how I've embraced AI. Is it how can it help me be a better person or a better consultant? And how can it analyze data? Well, I'm still looking at Google Analytics. How can it look? How can it see things that I might not see?
Yeah, exactly. Or you have a blind spot too, or something, like that's what I like. It comes at it from a different angle, something maybe we haven't thought about that. Your approach to AI, it's extremely practical. I appreciate that. You're not, chasing the trends. You're using it to reduce repetition, sorry, and improve your workflow. How do you think clients think about AI in a way? How can we help them think of it that is accessible instead of intimidating? Because I either they're all in a scary fashion, or they don't want it, they stiff arm it, so are you working with your clients to help them embrace it, or are you kind of behind the scenes building it for them, or how are you engaging with AI with your clients?
I would say I'm behind the scenes building it for them. Not always do they want to get in the weeds of how did you do that, but it would be more, Rachel, every time you have a client call, you create this action item list for the client. So what if we could take that recording and already feed it through automation to and teach this system of how to draft an email, and then all you have to do is press send, would that save you time?
Yes. Yes, it would, Kathryn.
So it's more really getting to know a client. And, I just had a sales call and I said, what are you using for your CRM? We don't have one. Okay. What if we wanted to spin up a funnel to test very quickly some messaging? How would you do that?
What'd they say?
Kind of kind of a blank stare, right? So then I said, let me show you some tools. You don't need to understand how I'm doing it, because you always pay people to play at what you find overwhelming, right? That's what you start to give to other people. So then I said, I can use Cloud Code through an MCP that connects to my Go High Level account, and it just automatically spins it up. And then I have a 3-point bundle, and they were like, okay, you're hired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, I think one of my challenges is being here in the Bay Area is that the business owners, they want to do whatever their business whatever their vertical is, but they also want to be a tech expert. So it's hard for them to let it go and let somebody else do it, because it they want to participate in this conversation. They want to understand what the billboards look like. They want to understand it. And so I'm kind of tied between the two of, let us help you. And, I'll share the information along the way, but you don't need to know how we've engineered it.
Well, I caught myself in this call because I said, it's really easy. And I go, wait, it is not really easy. I said, I have 30 years of experience and so many hours of testing this to make it work that it's not the highest and best use of your time, because I can't do what you can do. So let me take care of it for you. And in your spare time, you can figure it out. But that still doesn't mean, unless you're in this space.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And I lost a proposal because I was speaking to, let's call them venture capitalists, and they said, well, we need some lists, so we need to clean up some lists. And I'm like, how are you going to reach out to them? Well, we just are going to spam them. And I said, well, we can build, my agency can build a list for you. And then the guy's like, great, I need to get you on another call with another one of our partners. Got on the call and he goes, no. I was just on this seminar where I learned how to build lists on Claude, and we just bought the enterprise level, and everybody's going to get it. And I was like,
yep, there it is. That's my day in, day out. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild.
good. I'm like, great. Now you don't have to pay my agency $35 an hour for what you know how to do. I said, but now, do you know how to build skills? And are you going to customize it to all your brand details and all your voice? And, but you can't be all things to all people. And you're right, people will be amazed by what you do. And when they catch up to technology, not every consultant is here to consult with someone for the rest of their life. Your job is to get them to the next level where maybe they don't need you anymore.
Yeah, no, that's spot on. Yep, I agree.
So then you've done your job. Like, hey, I helped you scale your business. Now you can hire a full-time person in-house. Great.
Yeah. There you go. Have you noticed anything that maybe small businesses are getting either right with AI or wrong with AI? I mean, do you ever notice you're like, oh God, I mean, I guess we kind of touched on that a little bit there of just people, opening the keys, but is there anything else you're noticing about how businesses are using AI?
They're incorrectly using AI would be. So my degree is in medical technology. And what we would say in laboratory medicine is garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't give me a person's age properly or answer some other artifacts that would help me produce a result for you, then the garbage in helps with the garbage out. right? It's not going to give us a clear diagnosis. However, the same thing's happening in AI. With AI, if you're scaling a message and it's wrong, then you automate and scale the wrong message so fast that it's just a higher level of more garbage.
Yes, agreed, agreed. Yeah, I'll be curious to see how we like clean this up. Yeah.
I don't care about M dashes, like I'm going to read my heard of an M dash because I'm a scientist, not a grammar police. But when you're starting to use AI so frequently, you do see the chat GPT format that repeats or longer form content that's not doing anything for me. So those are the incorrect things. But the correct things, the other thing that is a little frustrating is when a founder hires someone offshore who can now speak better English with AI.
Oh, I guess there's some sort of voice filter now they can talk through. It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're building your business based on foundations, like I've had so many hours of copywriting frameworks and principles of writing and conversion best practices that if you build your business on the foundation of what like if AI went out tomorrow and you could do it manually,
Yeah. There you go.
hopefully it will help the people rise to the top that have those skill sets that make AI help them to be even better.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about leadership and your personal philosophy because I love your positioning on that. You've built a business that supports your values, your lifestyle, and your voice. What has it taken to show up authentically and trust that the right opportunities will come from that? Is that just who you are at the core of Kathryn?
I don't know. I actually wrote a post about that recently. I don't know what I'll be out and have this inspiration. And people that I didn't even think were reading my stuff were like, I so needed to hear that right now. And I put everything on social media. I don't know. I'm not afraid to show up without makeup, or I'm not afraid to tell you I've had a bad day. I live out loud. And I only do that because I have people behind the scenes that message me that say, you have no idea how much your journey or your sharing has actually helped me. So my thought is, I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. And so what gifts do I have that I can share with the world to help make someone better or help somebody?
Yeah, it's that giver's gain mentality, right?
So if I'm having a bad day, then I go, okay, wait a second. You have tools that you can use, like meditation or journaling or something. So so it's not at the end of the day. You just had a bad day.
Yeah, makes sense.
But tomorrow you get a fresh.
Yeah. Tomorrow will be a new one. Yes, I love that. What are you most excited about right now, whether in your business, your speaking work, or AI? What are you looking forward to in the future?
So what I'm geeking out on right now is agent workflows.
Okay.
So I built my own IP. So I always wondered, like, how am I going to sell my business? It's just me. I do all the work. Without me, I don't know who there'd be, right? So now I've built some IP, which I'm pretty excited about. And it's agents and agent workflows. And it's such a wonderful tool. And I want to be able to do that for other people as well. So that's what I'm super excited about. And the automation. Um, I to stop trading time for dollars so that I wake up and somebody ran the agent workflow and they were delivered a result, and for $497, they would have paid me $9,000.
Right. Yeah.
But now they're going to go, I don't know what to do with this. It's great. But now I need you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Help me implement it. But yeah, no, that's very exciting.
That's where I'm excited at this phase of my business, and that is to go from complete fractional CMO to delivering information in a level that somebody who might be bootstrapping couldn't afford. They heard my message, they run my system, they get enough information to get to their first 10K a month or whatever it is, and then they can come back and say, okay, I can't do it. Now I need you.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that and then having monthly recurring revenue for implementation at the agency level, not at the Kathryn level.
Right. Makes sense. All right, we've reached the point of the podcast, our quick little rapid fire question. No right, no wrong. What is your favorite AI tool right now?
Claude and Claude Code specifically.
Okay, excellent. And what is one business tool you cannot live without?
Claude? Well,
Yeah, I know. Okay. Same.
What is my iPhone? Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's a better tool, a different tool. Sales or marketing?
Sales.
Beach day or forest day?
That's hard.
Oh, okay. I stumped you.
I live at the beach right now. Rapid fire. I live at the beach right now, but I have a camper and a truck at the border. So when I arrive from Mexico, I go to my camper and truck and head to the forest.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so you get both worlds. What can make cold outreach fun?
Conversion.
Yes. What is one thing founders overcomplicate?
Talking to people.
Yeah, and one thing founders underinvest in?
Messaging.
Okay, and what does being cyber savvy mean to you?
It means understanding how to use technology safely with guardrails and be able to replicate systems.
Yeah, makes sense. Kathryn, your perspective is such a powerful reminder that business growth is not always about doing more. Sometimes it's about getting clearer on your offer, your systems, your data, and what truly makes you different. I love your approach to technology and AI because it's not about chasing every new tool. It's about using technology with intention to simplify. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Kathryn, please check out our show notes with links so you can definitely connect with her and learn more. Her website has awesome little quizzes that you can go through. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to follow, rate, and share the show. Kathryn, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
The Cyber Savvy Woman podcast requires more than a conversation. It takes action, research, and collective wisdom. If today's episode resonated with you, we'd love to hear your insights. Join the conversation and help us shape the future together. We'll be back with more stories, strategies, and real-world solutions that are making a difference for everyone. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe, rate, write a review, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it too. Hey, thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode.